Ciao ragazzi, welcome to another JuvePWR news update. I'm joined by my great friend Andrea Brunetti today, and what have we got for you? We got Bernardeschi's comments after the Italia game. We got Allegri's Mercato list. We got JuvePWR's comments on Allegri back. We got Matthias Deligt on his future. We've got to remember the great stadium disaster of 1985, Heysel. We've got Allegri's move to Juventus from Real Madrid's perspective. And finally, we got Donnarumma to Barcelona update from Fabrizio Romano. And with that, I'm going to introduce Andrea.
Ciao, guys. Ciao, Mr. Colin. Always a big pleasure to be here with you, talking about Juve.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You're one of my great friends, and I love to chat Juve every day. So with that, I'm going to jump. First of all, what do you think of the Champions League final tonight? Are you interested?
No, I canceled my subscription after Ceferin press conference a while ago. So I'm not gonna be audience today. I'm not gonna be witnessing this. Also, because for us, as you said, Colin, it's kind of a sad day today when we talk about Champions League. So I rather grieving on them on the 39 plus than.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not very much interested myself. And with that, I'm going to jump straight into it. Share the old screen here. We got Bernardeschi's comments. What did he say? He asked about he was asked about the difference between playing for Juve and Italy, and he says the difference here, I can risk the game. It is very simple. And Gazette are saying it was a hot answer, on the day after or the day of Pirlo's leaving. What did you make of that? Do you think Pirlo would have been offended? Do you think it was?
No. Actually, that's clearly what Gazzetta wants us to think, and that's I know. I always talk about the same topics, but that's another perfect example to use the words in order to manipulate people reading. So everybody is thinking and talking about the Bernardeschi's word like it was a shade on Pirlo's back, but I don't think that's the situation. Bernardeschi, with his words, just confirmed what we said, what we recognized, and we said for many times during the past season. He has a big character problem and a big pressure issue. I mean, it's pretty clear that he is not very comfortable when working and playing under pressure. At least he was not this season. And when he says, here I can risk, it's because Juventus supporters, we gotta break a point for Bernardeschi. Juventus supporters never actually helped him. Actually, they have been making fun of him for all year long. He became like a buffoon and
caricature,
caricature. And then of course how these things are. No, you get in the pitch and in the back of your mind you have all the people like an entire country making fun of you, and they're the same people is watching you in the moment. If you have problem dealing with pressure, imagine what it means getting in the pitch with this kind of mindset.
Absolutely. I think he definitely does suffer from the pressure. I suppose, like you said it recently, we've got to be careful about what we say online, and I'm sure he's received quite a lot of bad messages, or he's seen comments about himself online. They're people too. They have social media. There's no way they don't see these things. So yeah, I mean, with that, what do you think? Do you think Bernardeschi's future is away from Juventus because here, and I'll bring it up again, he says, what does he say? He talks about, he says basically he would like to continue with Juventus with Allegri. He's happy that Allegri's come back, so what do you think? Do you think Allegri likes him?
Well, that I don't know for sure. He was one of the Bernardeschi's lover. No, he believed in Bernardeschi since the beginning. The best and probably the only Bernardeschi very good game was actually under Allegri, and we all remember that the 3-0 against Atletico de Madrid, no? 3 goals by Ronaldo, but what a game by Bernardeschi. So
yeah.
Again, the same I said yesterday about Dybala. Even though you asked my opinion, I believe Dybala should go. It's time for him to go. I'm with Allegri. My big hope is like we put priority. My big hope is Andrea Agnelli. After Andrea Agnelli, right now is Max Allegri because I believe it's the right choice. So if Allegri sees Bernardeschi and believes he can find a role for Bernardeschi, I'm with Allegri. That's you asked my opinion. Like I said with Dybala, I would say Bernardeschi because if I'm looking for a player before the technical skills or physical skills, the character is what I want. I always talk about that. So we already said it's clear he had some issues in terms of character and working under pressure. So I cannot say it's the kind of player I like to see in my Juventus.
Yeah. For Maxi's saying, I can say in an honest way, it's not all his fault because the only role he hasn't played is the goalkeeper, and that's a good point. He's kind of played all over the place, and he's played wing back. He's played as at times a mezzala. He's played kind of more forward on the wing. He's played even left back this season as well. So, but I don't know. For me, yeah, you're right. If Allegri sees something in him, I think I would trust Allegri to be able to motivate him and to get something out of him in terms of man management and in terms of the respect he would have for Massimiliano Allegri. So I would, if he sees something in him, that's cool. But in my opinion, I wouldn't keep him. Akis, how you doing, Akis? If Max can transform Bernardeschi to the player we thought he is when we bought him, then no problem. But I'm more in favor of selling him and buying someone better. See, the thing about it is we may need the money. We may need the money.
That's the other thing. I mean, for sure, it's not the only one that needs to. That can be in the selling position, no? But I agree. I mean, I appreciate. I was not one of the supporters blaming Bernardeschi like it was all his fault, and
yeah,
that's something I would never do for any Juventus player unless they disrespect Juventus, because that's the only option, no? The only case I can actually do that. At the same time, yes, it is a big quality, is availability and the effort that even in the hard times he has been putting, because nobody can accuse Bernardeschi of not applying himself into the pitch. Nobody said that, and thank you very much for everything you've done. And I think it's beautiful that he finds the motivation to keep fighting, and he wants to stay with Juventus. I appreciate that. Those are all things I really love. I also believe that Max Allegri can be the key to for the renaissance of many players. Maybe Bernardeschi one of them, because I believe mind is everything in life.
Absolutely.
In life in general, especially in soccer, especially in football.
So Allegri's had a good relationship, a long relationship with Bernardeschi. Another player he's had a big relationship with is Alvaro Morata. And today in Tutto Sport, they're talking about Allegri's Mercato plans. Himself and Cherubini will be working on various different solutions for players like Ronaldo, Dybala, also Morata. And here they talk about Morata. We know it's a 10 million loan if Juventus want to keep him. They're saying here the Juventus desires, in fact, to keep him, and given the esteem that Allegri has always had towards the player when when he arrived in 2014. So, what do you think? Do you think Morata is going to be an Allegri player as well, or 10 million it seems rather cheap?
But the good things we just said about Bernardeschi, we can also say them about Morata. No, when we talk about the effort and applying himself for the team, the sacrifice, it's one of us. It's part of our family. So for sure, it was an odd season for Morata, no, because the beginning it made us dream, but then I think he felt a little down along with Juventus, because the first part of the league of the Campionato, we were actually able to set up some good games and some good victories, and Morata was the main character, the main player on few of them.
Yeah. He was excellent.
Why not? We
I think.
Tiger, though, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think we remember, the dip in form he had, but when you look at the stats at the end of the season, he actually had a good season. It's
no.
Yeah,
I mean, I would do it. I would keep Morata, but I'm still repeating myself, saying that I believe in Max. I believe Max is the key. But guys, remember pick the best games on Morata with Juventus, not the past season, but with Juventus. It was Allegri and
Bayern Munich. Do you remember the breakaway with the Quadrado goal?
Why? Yeah. Why the game in Madrid?
Yeah.
Tottenham.
Yes.
Many
Manchester City as well.
Manchester
Do you remember that?
Manchester City.
Yep.
Many. Yeah, that was a beautiful game on Morata. So, guys, I don't wanna jinx it, but yes, I mean, Max Allegri is the key to me. I'm a Allegri believer.
Yeah, I got Bobo. Absolutely, I got Bobo Vieri talking about this is on his own Twitch channel. He's saying Allegri's made 2 Champions League finals playing his football that you may or may not like. He said he played him against 2 teams that could not be beaten. These were, we mentioned this on Stripes last night. We were talking shame to lose to them. So yeah, I think what he could have done if it was in a different year when those teams weren't around, we could have added another trophy, Champions League trophy.
11 trophies in 5 years is not a bad rate.
No, it's not. And if he gets things together, who knows? We could be ready for another title. So we've always got to think.
Wait a second. What do you mean another title? I'm ready to start the run for 10 titles in a row. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There,
Um,
there. Not gonna digest it that easy.
we got to be hopeful for the future, you know. Like I'm going to move on here now. Again, I've got Matthias Delict talking to. I'm not sure who he's talking to, but he's at the Dutch camp and he's talking about his future. He says, "Now I'm happy at Juventus, like a fish in the water. Although the team's performances have been lower, I'm fine on the pitch. About leaving, there are many clubs that have money problems, but you should ask the club. Could Barcelona be the next ideal step? I don't know. It doesn't make sense now. It's not important to me. No one has come forward yet. So I think he's like, what does that sound like to you? Does that sound like a guy who's committed to Juventus?
That's the best news. The best news of the day, and not only. Ciao, Steven.
Ciao,
Uh,
Stephen.
no, not only because we know how important the league is right now for us. Also,
Yeah.
with the perspective of saying goodbye to some of our old senators, defenders, but also because it's not actually committing self to Juventus with false promises. You know, he's saying,
Yeah.
guys, the situation right now is that I'm very good in Juventus. I don't need anything else. There's no reason to think of Barcelona because I feel good. It's not to take Antonio Conte as an example again. He's not doing. I'm a Juventus supporter. I will always be a Juventus supporter. I will never leave Juventus in the bad moments or betray Juventus. No, it's not saying that. It's way more easy, you know. Right now, Juventus is giving me what I want, and I feel very good here.
Yeah.
We also have news. We know all these news are coming out because there are rumors about Delit going away, you know. And most of the time that should worries you because most of the time is Raiola putting these rumors in order to raise the price or whoever is dealing with. But this time I think is actually Juventus that is willing to let us know, hey, Matthijs is very good where he is. He feels home,
Yeah.
and he's staying with us. You know,
It sounds good to me, you know. And Akis has made a really good point here. Barcelona don't have the money to buy him. 150 million or something of that. Like I think Juventus would certainly be looking for a massive fee to but he realistically he's unsellable. Like he's the future for Juventus for the coming years. We don't know what's going to happen at the end of his contract, but for now he's number one at Juventus. You know, number one defender for the future.
too strong.
He's too strong. I put out a tweet this morning with a mountain behind him. You know, he's the Dutch mountain, Muralha Hollandaise. I think I know a few people with that AVI. With Raiola as agent, huh?
Bjorn Lothbrok.
Yeah, he does actually. He looks like Ragnar Lothbrok's son. The guy from Vikings, very much like him. For Maxi saying with Raiola as agent, the surprise is always around the corner. I don't trust the guy at all. Yeah, it's fair enough, but at least Juventus have a very good relationship with him through Pavel Nedved, you know, and I think he's got our back, you know. I hope so.
Famaxi and Mosokaxi, I agree with you. With Raiola, you never know. And I love your nickname, by the way. But I believe in this case it's not Raiola playing around. It's not the time for Delit yet. Probably the time for him to leave or eventually having Juventus dealing with Raiola and all this kind of dynamics is gonna come, but not yet. Delit is staying with us this year.
Not yet. Why am I not able to read other people's comments? We're streaming on multiple platforms, so if you're just on Twitch, you probably only see the Twitch comments. But we're working on it. I'm trying to bring more power to the whole thing. But we're working on it. Yeah. So
coming with updates. Max Moso Caxi. I love it.
Stephen is saying Deligt he loves the city. He can speak good Italian now. Life is good for the boy. Why change it? I agree with you. I'd love to live in Italy myself.
No, but and also Torino, guys, after the Winter Olympic Games, became like a little diamond in northern Italy. It's very, very beautiful. It's not a big city, super crowded. So there's also the point that in any other place in Italy, as a famous soccer player, you wouldn't be able to really go around and live a normal life. In Torino, you can. People don't actually assault you for autographs or pictures. Ronaldo is a little different story, but I think he gave up on his social life years ago already.
I think he knows how to deal with it at this stage. Yeah. He's used to it. It sounds like a beautiful city to live. And
you eat good. They have the best wines in Italy. They have very good quality meat and like old and traditional recipes, guys. If you live Italy, in general is a beautiful country to go, but Piemonte and Torino itself would be one of my best pick as an Italian.
The Barolo comes from Piemonte, doesn't it?
Yeah, correct. Barolo, Nebbiolo, Dolcetto. In my opinion, the best reds, few of the best reds are from there.
Okay. That's great. For Maxi says, thanks. No problem, buddy. What am I going to say? I'm going to move on. Look, we got to talk about Heysel today. Today is a very important day, and I wanted to leave it towards the end, because it's so important. Guys, unless you don't know, 1985, May 29th, European Cup final, the Heysel Stadium in Belgium. 39 fans were killed. A crowd surge from one side of the stadium went into the Juventus side, and the fleeing fans were crushed, and 39 of them lost their lives in that day. And this all happened before the game. The game went on, we just got to commemorate it. For Maxi saying he was at the plaque today at Anfield. I believe there was a ceremony for it. How did you feel when you were there, for Maxi? Tell us, what do you think? I think you're old enough to possibly remember it, maybe, if you don't mind my saying, what's your memory of it?
Just it was a sad day. It was a sad day for football. Even though it's very important, it's very important for us to remember. In general, of course, history is full, unfortunately, of this kind of events. But the most important thing is not to forget in order to learn, and not commit the same mistakes.
Absolutely.
Those are moments in which soccer community has to get together. Not Juventus, but soccer, football fans.
Yeah. What can I say? Well, I don't want to say anything controversial about it. I know a lot of people are still very sore about it. It's a very painful topic for a lot of people to talk about, and I want to be respectful of everybody. But for anyone to lose their life at a football game is it's shocking to think about it in this age, because security is so so well organized, but it wasn't always like that,
Also for us is very painful because unfortunately not a very developed culture in Italy when it's about soccer. In our stadiums in Italy, we have to listen to chants by other team supporters about the 39 lives that we lost, and they actually chant with tones like celebrating the event instead of actually commemorating it. That makes a lot of pain in our hearts. That's something painful for us, and I want Juventus supporters and whoever goes to the stadium to think about that, to think to this pain, and to elevate ourselves to a different level, and never chant that kind of song in a stadium when it's against the other supporters, because we're different. We're Juventus. We know what pain is. We've been through these moments.
Yeah, I agree. Sadly, in the 80s, many incidents like this happened. I can think of at least 3 or 4 off the top of my head, and I wasn't even alive back. Sorry, I was alive, but I wasn't watching football back then. I was a small child, so I imagine if I'd lived through that time, I would know a lot more. But it's sad.
Margaret Thatcher at the time excluded English teams from European competitions for 5 years. I think.
Yes.
I think 6 years for Liverpool.
Yes, that was from UEFA.
There was a serious problem in England, and one of the good thing about them is that they actually fixed it. They didn't play around very much. They fixed the problem they had with violence around this beautiful sport. That should remain so. But the funny thing is, England after the Super League communication, basically threatened the teams to do the same, even if there was not a violence problem coming. That's funny how the treatment was pretty much the same for not the same problem.
Yeah, I agree. They did, just to get in on your points, they did clean it up to a certain extent. It doesn't happen in the stadiums. I can't confirm that it doesn't happen elsewhere. Maybe Maxi might know a little bit more about it. I think he lives in Liverpool.
But the point is to keep the sport a sport. Like, where if you want to go with your kids or your father, or you want to go in a safe situation, you want to be able to wear your jersey, even though you're sitting next to one of your opponent supporters, and not be killed or beaten up. Then if they wanna, they're like soldiers. If they wanna go regulate themselves out of the stadium in different places, they're gonna it's their problem.
It is their problem. For Max, he says, I remembered that I had a ticket for the game, but my mother decided not to let me go, and fortunately I never went. Funny enough, it's about 30 years that he lives in Liverpool, so I mean, he's got a perspective on this that, I really would love to hear. I should have messaged you beforehand and dropped a link. Would love to hear your perspective on this, because I know over the years there's been a lot of controversy between Liverpool, Juventus. Juventus went to Liverpool and played a Champions League game, and a lot of the ultras turned their back on the attempt at reconciliation. by Liverpool Football Club, and maybe they felt that it came too late. I understand, but what can I say? Time heals everything. For between relations between clubs, but for the people who obviously lost family that day, I imagine that wound never heals.
Never.
No, it doesn't. It's a very serious thing. Ciao, Giulio. How are you doing, buddy? Are you going to be dancing around with at the barbecue today? I'm hearing there's a barbecue going on. Matteo might be shooting another video.
After the second beer.
After the second beer, yeah. For Maxi says Liverpool supporters in the past 30 years apologise a lot of times for what happened. Yeah.
You know something that happened a few years ago, and I really, really, really appreciated that Fiorentina supporters, the Ultras, asked Liverpool for like a join, when they do friendships, no? Like we have with Notts County. After accepting the friendship, Liverpool supporters got to know that Fiorentina supporters asked for the friendship only because of the IZ, because they are few of the the one that sing the kind of chants, and they immediately gave up on the friendship, and they actually wait for them before the game Fiorentina Liverpool in Champions League with insulting them and disrespecting them because that's what they are. They don't deserve the respect of the football world. I'm not talking about Fiorentina supporters. I'm talking about any kind of supporters. Like sustaining this kind of. I don't even know how to describe them. It's gross.
Yeah, there's a subset of those kinds of football supporters in. I imagine they're there in every club. It's human. It's part of the human problem. I was going to say the human condition or the human nature, but it's not. It's just a problem. It's a society problem. Like so. How do you deal with it? I really don't know. Increased security is one thing. I'm going to move on here, guys. I'm going to talk about Allegri. Allegri from Real Madrid's perspective. I feel it's important to get both perspectives. They're saying Allegri's no, and the reason behind it. Allegri would have kept Juve's proposal in standby for a while, waiting for news from Madrid, and had also said no to Inter, but when in the late evening of Wednesday, 5 minutes after the end of the meeting with Zidane, he received a call by Real. He'd already said yes to Agnelli, all despite the fact that the contract was ready, a 3-year contract with a salary higher than what he would receive at Juve, but the possibility of returning to work in a club he knows and staying close to his 9-year-old son who lives in Torino would ultimately outweigh the economic aspect. Now, Conte would be the strong candidate for the Spanish bench, with Raul in reserve and potentially a surprise for Pochettino. What do we think? I think the delay is that's what they're saying. The delay from Zidane is, that affected it. I mean, I know you've got something to say on that.
I think many factors, but also the delay. But we don't. No, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I'm gonna think about Champions League next year, maybe. See what happens. There is a long summer waiting for us, guys. Big time.
No, I got no time for Chefrin's final at this stage.
No. I'm not gonna be part of the audience tonight. But talking about Allegri, Zidane, Real Madrid. For sure, I wouldn't, like in Allegri's shoes, I wouldn't like to hear Real Madrid saying, "Wait a second, let us talk to Zidane and then we tell you." I mean, I like to be the first choice. I don't care where I go, but if I go there, it's because they believe in me, and I'm the first choice for them, because that's very important. Then when something like the season that we just had happen, when something goes wrong, you need to have a leader that you really trust, because otherwise you start doubting. Everybody start doubting, and the fear brings only more problems. I think there was, as you said, the timing and the thing of not being the first choice. Also, we said that for Juventus, Allegri is the best decision, the best choice. I think that for Allegri, the Juventus is also the best choice, because he knows perfectly where he's coming, where he's going. He can level a little bit more, because he left as a winner, and he's coming back to bring us to victory again.
Yeah, I agree. And I kind of, I put my hands up. I was an Allegri. I was a massive fan of Allegri, but I wanted Zidane to come. I was a huge fan of Zidane, but also his success as a manager. But at the same time, I'll be honest, like, you can criticize Zidane on a number of things. You could look at his record and say, yeah, fair enough, he won 3 Champions League titles, amazing achievement. Everybody says, okay, well, he had a great team. Guys, believe me, it's not easy to motivate a team full of stars. You can't take that for granted. Just because you have Cristiano Ronaldo and Gareth Bale in your team, Kroos, Modric, Casemiro, you've got to motivate them. You've got to have their respect. But the one thing I would criticize him on is the coming and going. He left Madrid, he went back, but it wasn't like what Max has done. Max has left on good terms. He's taken 2 years. He hasn't gone to another club, and now he's come back. It's a different situation. Zidane has come and gone twice now from Real Madrid. It doesn't look good. He went on holidays for a week when he was supposed to have a meeting to decide his future, and now Real Madrid are kind of caught with egg on their face because Zidane has left and Allegri has also gone to Juventus. So it's a bit of a messy situation, and you never see that from Allegri. Allegri is not, like, as you said, he's a fantastic speaker. He conducts himself extremely well. We saw an interview yesterday, and he was surrounded by people following him, looking for quotes, and he entertained the whole lot of them with a nice, jovial, light-hearted joke, and gave them something, but at the same time gave them nothing, and that's got to be, appreciated.
Another good point about Max,
Yeah.
And also, I mean, you're right, Colin. It's not easy to motivate players, but I think if you are a good motivator, it's easier to work with Ronaldo, Casemiro, Kroos, Bale. You named them all. Then Bernardeschi, Ramsey, Artur, and I can keep going. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
The first list is made out of players that are actually, able to win. They used to win. They used to fight for big titles, no? So if you know how to motivate a player, it's easier to work with this kind of professionals than someone that needs to develop, no? So I think Also Pirlo in the Real Madrid, my who knows, might have been a Champions League winner. So that's why I didn't believe Zidane was the right choice out of the names that they were doing. For me, Max was, unless they wanted to stay with Pirlo. For me, it was even give Pirlo another opportunity, or Max. Max is the best option for us right now.
Yeah. About the Champions League final, Akis is saying he doesn't support Chelsea or City, so I assume he's not watching. I'm the same. I'm not bothered. I'll be honest. I watch Juventus. I watch one or two other sports, but I don't have time. I don't have time to watch everything.
No, yeah, for me, it's a protest. For me, it's a matter of protest. Probably,
It's a straight out protest.
I
Yeah.
wanna guess Gianluca Vialli is supporting Chelsea today, so I would support Chelsea because of it, because I will be with Gianluca Vialli. But yeah, I'm in protest, so not watching the game for this reason.
Yeah. Judo's saying one thing I appreciate about live sports in America is that you might be sitting next to a group of supporters of the other team and everyone is chill and has a good time. You might be respectfully poking each other during the game, but once the game is over, everyone walks out peacefully, and that's that. I gotta say, yeah, I've never experienced sports in America. What do you think? You're in San Diego, aren't you?
Yeah, their beers are too light, but yeah, in this way, I guess they keep the conversation between supporters always peaceful. Yeah, no, it's true. I was telling you, one of the good things about being here is that once the game is over, it's over. No, and especially when we talk about soccer, there is not a it's not a cultural thing.
Yeah.
A social thing like it's in Italy, the country I'm from. It is true, Giulio. We were talking. I don't know if you were already watching the live, but we were talking about that. To me, the goal is to, and that's what Juventus has been doing for the last years. They want to make sure that a family going to the stadium feels safe. If I want to bring my kid with a Juventus jersey and sit next to a supporter with the Inter jersey, I'm sorry for the Inter jersey guys. I mean, he's unlucky, but at the same time, I'm not expecting him to assault me. I remember talking about that. The first game I went to watch live, probably I told you, Colin, many times, but it's a special moment for me. It was the Champions League final in 1996 against Ajax. So my father, it was me, my father, and my mom. And my father was very, very, very afraid because you never know, and because in the 90s soccer supporters were also in general Ajax supporters are not like the calm one,
Okay.
But yeah, I remember that was very shocking for me having the jersey and buying the scarf that I still have, putting the scarf on, and then a jacket to cover everything, because we cannot show we are Juventus supporters. And that I was 10 years old, and I started to deal with this kind of stuff. With my father, we went to watch many games in stadiums, like in different cities in Italy, and we never wore a jersey, hat, or any Juventus sign. We would not celebrate a Juventus goal. That's crazy. That's crazy if you think about that.
That's madness.
In Napoli, we were sitting in a sector next to Moggi, Bettega, and Giraudo. They were throwing coins at them.
Yeah.
They were throwing coins at them. Imagine how the situation is right now. I agree
Yeah.
with Julio. We should learn from Americans and this kind of stuff, how to live the sport like a show. But we're coming.
For Maxi's back in with, he's talking about he was talking about Zidane motivating and whatever. I think a lot of what I was saying was, motivation. There's one aspect of it. Two, because they're big players, big characters, they got to respect you, and three, you've got to be able to, you've got to be able to manage all the egos. Do you know what I mean? They've all got massive egos, like so. How do you keep a proper team environment, like, the authority to and that, I suppose that ties in with respect, but motivation. Yeah, he says, I don't believe in the motivation thing. Players do the best job in the world and get a wage that we can only dream about. I agree with you. I think I agree with you.
I agree, but Colin, you should pronounce the name in the correct way. Famaxi e Mosocaxi.
Famaxi and Mosocaxi.
Bravo. And it's going to be helpful also in Italy when you're going to go.
We haven't announced that yet, but we'll see what happens. Steve is coming in with Max is the winner's mentality and the passion to keep pushing forward. He's got real stature within the club. I think that's obvious. I think everybody knows he's got a huge standing with Juventus and generally in world football at this stage. He says, Julio says, "Wow, you were at the final against Ajax."
First time live, Julio. I'm from Umbria. I'm actually from a little town that is 15 minutes away from Ravanelli's town, and Ravanelli scored for me. It was like the perfect night, unbelievable.
Yeah, and what's from Maxi saying here now? He's saying, I went to watch the Juve game a few years ago against City. I was in the part of the stadium full of City fans and I was wearing the Juventus kit. We won and nobody said anything to me, even when we scored, and I was screaming like a madman.
I know, yeah. It's another culture, Famaxi. That's why I was telling Colin, at least in England, they fixed the problem. There is still people fighting, killing each other, but out of the stadiums. If you want to go to the stadium, you're safe wearing a Juventus jersey. In Italy, you're not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been warned about that as well. But look, I tend to keep an open mind. And the Juventus stadium is different, obviously.
Of course. Of
course it is.
Juventus also have been doing a big operation in the last few years to get rid of violent and tricky supporters. It's Juventus itself that is trying to change the things, and hopefully the other teams are gonna take the example and go on the same way.
Okay, we got one more topic and then we'll wrap up. So I'm going to quickly look at a tweet from Fabrizio Romano. He's talking about Donnarumma, guys. A hot topic at the moment. Barcelona will decide in the next days about Gigio, the deal as a free agent, whether they sign him or not. They're saying Ter Stegen is untouchable. But I don't see how that's going to work if Ter Stegen is still there. Raiola is now in direct contact with the Barca board, but also with Paris Saint-Germain and Juventus. It's an open race, he says. What do you think?
That's what Famaxi and Mosocaxi was saying before, no? When Raiola starts to play his cards. That's always his strategy. He's just raising the price.
He's just raising the price.
I feel Donnarumma is a Juventus deal.
Yeah, I agree. I've even got an image, a thumbnail image, ready to use as soon as he signs. So
don't say that, because if he doesn't sign, then
I'm gonna cross my fingers, knocking on wood, all of that. But here it is anyway, guys. What do you think? I think it looks pretty good. Friend of mine made it for me.
we need to erase Milan
jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need, maybe there's a little bit of work to be done yet. We'll see. Someone is asking me if I want to become famous. Of course I want to become famous.
You're already famous. What kind of who is this stupid guy?
Yeah. The biggest problem in Italy are the media, guys. They tease fans for weeks and weeks before and after the game. I agree with you. We were talking about this yesterday. Andrea was saying today, yeah.
Also, the Gazzetta article.
The Gazzetta article, yeah. They do this. They kind of, I think they create controversy. So whatever decision, if Juventus get a penalty, if they get a goal, the next day in Gazzetta, you're going to see, or on Rai Sport that evening, like we saw the incident with, a penalty, Rabiot. Was it on Rabiot? Rai said live that it was a penalty, and then they didn't realize they were off air, and they actually all agreed that it wasn't a penalty.
Yeah.
And then they went and made sure that all the videos that people released online were deleted for copyright issues, of course. They don't want the truth to get out.
There was only Rai, which is the Italian radio and television. We pay a tax that we cannot escape from, like as a state service.
You can watch me wherever you want, but ideally both. Ideally both. We're not too choosy.
Ciao, Paolo.
Ciao, Paolo. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for joining, buddy. Julio is saying this morning I read about a Pogba Ronaldo swap that would be perfection. I think I read something about that as well, but
I don't know. The last great thing that Ronaldo does for us. Can I say that?
Yeah. I think there's no secret. United would love to have him back, and they have the money. So I heard that Jorge Mendes was contacted. That's the first kind of. Pardon?
So why not?
Why not? Manchester is a beautiful place. You can go back there. It's fine. Pogba would love to. What do you think? Do you think Pogba would look good in the away jersey for next year? The black jersey. Do you know the black jerseys?
Black jersey in general. He wore already two.
Yeah.
Already two black jersey, and they look good on him. But in general, it looks good with Juventus jersey. Imagine the new stripes, classic stripes on Paul Pogba. That's the dream. Allegri on the bench. What is back to the future again?
Yeah. So that's all we've got, guys. I'm going to thank everybody for turning up and taking some time out from the Champions League final. If you were watching, to throw us a few comments. I'm going to ask everyone to like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, do the same. If you're on Twitch, do the same. And if you're on YouTube, turn on that notification bell. There's going to be a lot more from us. Just quickly before we go, Akis is saying, swap Ronaldo with Pogba, it's a perfect deal. Yeah, we agree. 100%. Famaxi Mosakaxi, I've no doubt that United would do a swap with Ronaldo because they've said it for months that they only accept it with Dybala. Oh, he says he has doubt. He does doubt. We'll see. Ciao, Giulio. We'll see what happens. Anyway, yeah, you know what to do. Check us out on socials. Check out Stay Halma on Twitter. If you don't know what that means, that's Max Allegri's version of Stay Calma.
Next round we do the Italian Allegrian lesson.
Yeah. Okay. Ciao.
Ciao guys, forza Juve fino alla fine.